Hello guys, how are we all doing? Welcome back to yet another Championship predictions video. Big set of fixtures coming this weekend as we move into March. I'm joined by HPYT. How you doing?
I feel like I'm invading your personal space here.
How you doing? You alright?
Yeah, I'm good.
I feel safe around you, don't worry.
You feel safe because the bigger lad's looking after you.
Yeah. How you doing though? You good?
Yeah, man, I'm fine. How are you?
Yeah, absolutely good. Make sure you've liked and subscribed. Let's get into this. Some big games coming. 2 games on the Friday. Let's start with Huddersfield versus Peterborough. I remember this being a League One playoff final about 10 years ago. Both teams are going in opposite directions as things stand. Huddersfield are the form team. I think it's 17 unbeaten. They look class. And Peterborough probably about 17 without a win, to be honest. I don't know what it is, but Peterborough just don't look good. Although I will say, fair play to them in the FA Cup, you know, only losing 2-0 to Man City. Probably put in a spirited performance. But reality is, Huddersfield are the form team. They're at home here. It's a banker. 2-0.
Yeah, I agree. If anything, I think it might even be 3-0. Huddersfield just look that good at the minute. I've gone through the season a bit thinking like they're terrible how they got up there. But the longer they stay up there, and the more I see of them, the better I think they look. And if they can keep it up, wow, there might be a genuine battle to get back into the Premier League.
Absolutely. So you're going 3-0?
Yeah.
Next up, Sheffield United versus Forest. Now, this is a very interesting game. Both teams have obviously really improved since that poor start to the season, and they're both in the mix. The problem is with this top 6 race is I fancy both of these two to get in there, but then when you try and work out which the other teams will be, it becomes a headache because there's so many good teams. Someone's going to miss out. It could be one of these two. I'm going to be a fence sitter. I'm going to go 1-1.
Yeah, there's at least 10 teams that have got a good to fair chance of getting into the top 6.
Yeah.
We already know who the top 1 is, so there's 5 spaces left. So it's going to be very tight the longer this goes on. I don't want to be a fence sitter like you. I don't want it. Although I do think it'll be 1-1, but I don't want to predict that. I think Forest will win 2-1, I'll say.
Wow.
Forest, when they play, they look unstoppable. When they're on it, they look like they're unreal. So that's what I'm going for.
That's one of the biggest games of the season so far, that is. Right, we move to Saturday lunchtime. This is a big one as well. Fulham v Blackburn Rovers. We know what Fulham are up to, but Blackburn are a team that are in the top 6. And if these teams like Forest and Sheffield United are picking up points and they're not, they'll fall away. It's a big ask for them to get something here. They did get a good result against QPR, but what a statement result this would be if Blackburn win. I don't think they will. I think Fulham are in cruise control. They're in their element. 2-0 Fulham.
Yeah, I think Fulham don't even need to go out of first gear in most games now. They might make it into second gear for this game. I don't know. Fulham are that good that it's hard to see anyone beating them. But if anyone could, it's one of the teams like Blackburn or Bournemouth. But I think Blackburn have had a little bit of a stutter over the last month or so. I'm not sure what their position is in the table that I have in front of me. I just think they'll struggle in this game, and I think Fulham will end up running away with it 3-1.
3-1.
Yeah, when they're on form, mate, you can't touch them.
No. We move to the 3 p.m. kickoffs. Bristol City v Birmingham City. Now, if this was in another 5 or 6 games' time, it probably wouldn't mean anything. Probably doesn't anyway, because I can't see these two getting the playoffs or going down. They're both in a reasonable position from safety, but nowhere near the playoffs. Big chance for them to both pick up 3 points. They'll both look at this as winnable. I fancy Birmingham 1-0.
Yeah, your comments bang on. Nothing for either team to really go for here. Just how high can you get? It might even be just a battle for top half at this point.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing in it either end of the table for either of these two. I think Bristol are good enough to win this game 2-0. I don't think it'll be that eventful.
Derby County versus Barnsley next. What a big game this is. Derby County obviously lost to Cardiff on the Tuesday, and we were saying that is a very damaging result. Almost pushes them towards the trapdoor with Reading and Barnsley improving. This is where they need to reverse it. It almost feels like they're running out of chances to reverse it. If they win this, they jump above Barnsley, and it's important they do that because Barnsley have got games in hand on them. Barnsley have been the form team in the bottom 5 recently. I think, though, Derby are better at home than they are away, so I might sit on the fence and say 1-1.
Are you going to sit on the fence for this whole video?
No.
You've actually got some winnable results in here. I think Barnsley win this game. I think on the showing that we've just seen from Derby, we just watched the Cardiff Derby game, they lost 1-0. And Derby were all over Cardiff the whole game, but they could not apply a finish. And I feel like it might be the same story with Barnsley, and I think they might end up just getting a breakaway as Cardiff did and just sticking it in the net. I think it'd be 1-0.
1-0. Wow, big result that would be for Barnsley. Hull City versus West Bromwich Albion next. Go back a few weeks and you're thinking at this point it would be a very interesting game. West Brom in the top 6, Hull in the bottom 3 battle, but no, Hull look very safe. West Brom don't look in the playoff race, so almost like Bristol City Birmingham, doesn't feel like there's all too much to play for here. West Brom would have to go on a very good run to get back into the top 6 now, and I can't see it happening. It's a joke at the moment. And Hull City, a good result at Peterborough last time. I'll give them a draw here, 1-1.
Yeah, the issue is they've had the players all season to win the league, and they've still got the players to make it into the top 6, as unlikely as it is. But I just don't see it happening. They're not playing as a team at the minute. I don't think Steve Bruce has got them playing anywhere near the way he wants them to, and I think they left it too late to sack the previous manager. I think they'll win today. I back Steve Bruce to get their first win, but it'll be a scrappy one. I feel like they might just eke out a meagre 1-0 victory.
Next up, Middlesbrough versus Luton. What a big game this is.
It's big.
Thinking about it, Sheffield United Forest and Middlesbrough Luton all playing in the same weekend. That's 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th, all locking horns. Whoa, this is tough. This is very tough.
Woofing again.
It's a big woof game.
Oof.
Luton Town are a form team, but Middlesbrough are very good, and they're better at home than they are away, Middlesbrough. I really can't separate it. 0-0.
I am fence sitting on this game.
Yeah.
I think Luton look very, very, very good. Middlesbrough look very, very, very good. There's so little to separate the two of them. I think they play in somewhat similar ways as well at times. I can see goals. I can see 2, but I think it'll be 1-1. They're just so evenly matched, aren't they?
Absolutely, it's a big game, that one. Preston North End versus AFC Bournemouth. AFC Bournemouth in a strong position. They've been picking up some late wins. This isn't easy. It's one of those games where Preston can present themselves as an obstacle to Bournemouth. I don't think Preston will make the top 6. They're not out of it, but I don't think they will. But they presented themselves as an obstacle to Coventry. They were very physical, albeit we rescued a point in that game. I think this could be a draw. I think Bournemouth will find it a bit tricky. 2-2.
I think Preston, to be honest, based on their reaction after the game against us, they'll be that angry about it that there'll be a reaction. Because we heard Ryan Lowe's thoughts. He was incensed at what happened at the end of that game. And normally when that happens from a manager, one of 2 things happen, and it's usually that there is a reaction and they win the next game. So that's how I see it going. I don't think it'll be easy, and again I think it'll just be a cagey 1-0.
Cagey 1-0. Queen's Park Rangers versus Cardiff City next. We've just seen Cardiff beat Derby. They're churning in results. They seem to be quite good at home. Their home form anyway. QPR are quite good at home, but QPR, I'm not 100% sure about. I still think they should make the top 6, but it's getting tight now, isn't it, for QPR fans? There might be a few feeling a little bit uncomfortable with that result at Blackburn and the way other teams are going about it. I think this could be an unhelpful draw. I don't think QPR will lose, but I think Cardiff could cause them problems. 1-1.
Yeah, I've been looking at Cookie's reaction to QPR all season and how little he rates them based on the XG and the XG alone. But I think you made a good point in that video you did with him last week that just shows how clinical they are. And I feel like this is one of those games where they can get away with not having that many chances and just poking in a goal with one of the few chances they get. And I can't see Cardiff exactly having a high scoring game against these because they're up there for a reason, QPR. So I see it just being a not cagey but a comfortable 1-0 if that exists.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah, it could be one of those kind of games. Reading versus Millwall next. This is quite big. Reading obviously above that bottom 3. That splurge they went on after the manager went is what's put them there, and just okay. But they know points will be won because Barnsley played Derby, so ideally they need something this weekend. But Millwall, 4 wins in a row. Oh, this is tough. I think Reading might just take a draw. I'll go 1-1.
They'll take a draw, definitely, but I expect Millwall to win it. I did say on the stream I think it might be a somewhat winnable game for Reading just because they are on a bit of a run. But Millwall I fully expect to win and not make much of a fuss about it either. 2-0.
Stoke City versus Blackpool next. Are we looking at two teams heading towards the beach, maybe? Blackpool and Stoke not going towards the playoffs?
You just said that because it's Blackpool. Is that why you said that?
I didn't know.
Towards the pleasure beach, specifically.
But you know what I mean? I don't know. Blackpool's still... But both these joint in the table, aren't they? But I don't know if they're going to make the top six. Be interesting. It's a big game anyway. If either team can win it, they can charge towards the top half. I think Blackpool... If any of these two have been more consistent recently, it's them. So I'll go Stoke 1, Blackpool 2.
0-0, dead game. Nothing's going to happen.
You reckon?
Nah, I don't think so. Well, what have they got? Stoke have been shocking for about a month or two. Since the turn of the new year, really. Blackpool, they're good, but they're not incredible. I think they're on a level with Stoke. I just think...
Which they'd take for a newly promoted team.
Oh, yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah.
It's not a criticism. They've looked very good all year. I don't see this game offering much.
Interesting. And the last game, we finished with Coventry City away at the Swans. We obviously saw Swansea beat West Brom on Monday. I think it was a very, very, very impressive result. I know West Brom, you can poke holes at them for what they've been doing recently, but Swansea had to go there and be professional. Perot obviously took his goal well. And Cyrus Christie, former Coventry lad, scored. He's obviously playing for Swansea now.
He's got 2 in 3 now, Cyrus Christie.
Yeah, so... We know this game's not going to be straightforward. Obviously, they came to our ground and won. But Swansea over the season haven't quite impressed me as I thought they might. Like I say, when they came to us, I thought, okay, they'll be good for the season because they played well. They
outclassed us.
Dominated possession. But I think the form suggests Coventry should get something here. And I'll go for the 3 points. I think Coventry could snatch this. If we want to stay in the race, I think it's got to be a win. It's not going to be easy. I respect Swansea and I like them. But Swansea 1, Coventry 2.
I think we lose this.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I just can't see it. Swansea's one of those teams that we play and I just don't see us winning.
No,
in any way.
We didn't beat them last season either.
No, this is what I mean. And we could have done. When we went to their place, we took an early lead through Jordan Shipley, I think it was, and then we just sort of capsized.
That was at home, yeah.
It was at home, was
it?
Yeah. We just sort of capsized after that. When they came here this season, like I say, they played us off the pitch. Did we even score in the game? I think we was it 2-1?
2-1.
But even after we scored, I didn't think we were going to get even a point out of it. So, yeah, I think it'll be a 2-0 Swansea. I don't know if I said 1-0. Did I say 1-0 at the start?
I don't know.
Whatever, I think 2-0, regardless.
It'd be a setback for Cov, that.
Yeah. But I think Swansea are one of those teams that are lower than they should be because they've got the players to be a lot higher, but they just don't have the consistency. Yeah,
I think I'd agree with that. That wraps up our championship predictions, guys. Get what you think down below in the comments. I want to see your predictions as well. If you haven't already dropped a like, please do. If you haven't already subscribed, please do. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.